Hello Year 9 STEM and welcome to Working From Home. Hopefully you guys are working from home and that you're actually doing some good work so far with all your other classes. I've got a little activity for you guys to do today on Onshape. So if you guys can use your computers to go onto Onshape like we've been doing it at school. I just want to point out as well, everybody, whether you're coming to school or you're staying at home, will be doing the same task from now on. If you come into school, you will still be doing these tasks. You'll just be doing it from school instead of from home. But it's going to be the same thing. So, in my opinion, there's no benefit to coming to school other than maybe seeing one or two teachers who might be around. But for example, I am working from home today. So there might not be less, there will probably be less and less teachers actually at the school anyway. Um, so here's what we're going to do. We are actually going to create a working piston. Now it's going to be a fairly simple piston, but I thought that this might be cool because we're actually looking at pistons and hydraulics at the moment. And the syringes are kind of like little pistons, just filled with water or filled with air or whatever you put in them. And we're going to make a piston using Onshape. Um, what I might actually do as well, we might learn how to create some gears at a later date, and we might even attach some pistons to some gears. So I might do the piston one, do the gears one, and then do one that incorporates both. Okay, so what we're going to need to do first is we're going to need to start a sketch, just like always, on the top plane, and I'm going to simply just make a circle. Okay, again, sizes of your circle or whatever can vary, but I'm going to make mine about, let's make it 100 mil diameter. Okay, now what I can actually do is stretch this up and cut a hole through it, but rather than cutting a hole through it later, I'm actually just going to cut the hole through it now by just adding another circle that's slightly smaller. Let's make this one 20 mils. Oops, haven't clicked. 20 mils. Okay, 20 mil diameter, and that'll just mean there's a hole through that tube. Okay, so I'll click tick there, and I'm going to extrude this up, and let's just do it in 25 millimeters like it suggests. Okay, so there's one end of my piston. Now I just need the other end, so I'm going to do another sketch on the top plane, and I'm going to put another circle. Let's make it the same size. Okay, this one I'm not going to cut a hole through. I'm actually going to extrude it up the 25 millimeters, and we are going to do another sketch on the top face of it, and we're going to put a circle on the top face of it right in the middle of that top face again, and that should show you the center with that yellow box. I'm going to make this one 20 mils diameter. Tick. Now this one I'm going to extrude up 100. Okay, so they're the two shapes we're going to have. We're going to have part 1 and part 2, and part 2 is going to slide through part 1, but you're going to need to go to the assembly to do that. So we've made the parts, now we're going to go to the assembly. Okay, so we go to our assembly at the bottom tab here. We're going to insert our parts. I'm going to just insert the whole part studio, which gives me both parts together. I'm going to click tick. And we're going to need to insert now this rod into this little disc. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the slide mate. Okay, so we've used this one before with parts moving and that sort of thing, but let's actually make the slide mate. We're going to grab this slide mate, and I'm going to grab the center of this shaft. Okay, so you can see there's sort of 3 positions on that shaft that we can grab onto. I'm going to grab onto the center one, and I'm going to put it on into the center of this little disc. It's not going to let me do it in any other spot. I think that's the only spot it's going to let me. Okay, so that shaft should slide through there like so. Let me just click the tick, and let's see. Yep, she's sliding through. Okay, so if I now go to part 1 and I fix that one in place, let's go right click part 1 here and I fix in place. Now this one should slide up and down through. Okay, so now you can imagine this is actually the cylinder. It's sort of like the syringe, okay? But I want to actually get the rest of this syringe. I want to make it actually look like a real syringe, okay? So what I need to do now is I need to add something to this disc to make it look a bit more like a syringe, okay? So let's go back into our part studio. So when we've made our shape that size, they're both rings that are the same size. I'm actually going to need to make this disc a little bigger. So I'm going to go back into sketch 1. I'm going to double click the 100 millimeters and I'm going to change that to, let's make it 110. So it's a little bit bigger than the disc, okay? And now I'm also going to go underneath the disc and I'm going to build up a wall along the edge here. So I'm going to need to do a sketch on the bottom face. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to build up a wall that's kind of the edge of the ring here. So I'm going to make this one 100 millimeters because it's the same size as the disc. I'm going to click tick and then I'm going to extrude just this strip around the outside now that it's bigger. And we're going to extrude it down. Let's make it extrude down 50. Okay, so now we've got a hollow cylinder with a disc at the end. Okay, so now we've got a cylinder and we've got a piston moving inside that cylinder. So let's go back to the assembly now, and now you can see that cylinder sliding through and is working like a hydraulic piston. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the activity now. So what I'd like to do now is have you guys do the same thing, and then as I said, the next project we'll get to do is we might actually add some gears together and we'll incorporate a piston with some gears. Okay, and I'll show you the gears in the next video. Alright, great guys, I'll keep updating you with work to do over the week. It'll probably only be about 1 hour's worth of work a week, maybe a little bit more depending on how long your claw takes or how much effort you're going to put into making your claw. I'm expecting some people might make their claws really awesome and other people might be like happy with a very basic claw. At the moment I'm happy with anything that moves in a piston shape, uses hydraulics to open and close. You may only use two syringes in making your claw. That's fine. As long as you've got something that can grab an object, I'm happy. Alright, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.